My guest today is the star of one of Broadway's biggest new hits, the Disney blockbuster Aladdin. Other notable roles include Marius in Les Mis, Simba in The Lion King, and Dad to Jack and Alex. Welcome to Show People, Adam Jacobs.
Hey,
Hi.
How's it going?
So let me just get out of the way. Did you sleep? How'd you sleep last night? How'd the babies sleep?
The babies are starting to sleep. They're almost 7 months now.
Yeah.
They're starting to sleep through. Kelly's getting some rest.
Oh,
my wife.
awesome. Glad to hear it.
She's she's been a trooper. I mean, throughout this whole process.
Yeah.
They were born the first day of rehearsal for Aladdin here in New York.
Crazy.
And so it's been quite the journey, and she's been my rock, my pillar, so I can sleep and do 2 shows a day. Otherwise, it'd be impossible.
Can you share a photo or something?
Actually.
I've seen them on Instagram. I've been following their. You give us like good monthly updates or something. But.
Yeah, I try to do one. I don't like to overload people with baby pictures.
People want to see the baby pictures.
I know they
it's
do,
adorable.
but I find that it could be somewhat annoying if you're doing that all the time. As a parent, but they do. They do.
Show the camera.
This is them. I put them in a pool.
Oh.
We put them in a pool down at my parents' house.
First swimming.
This is their first time in a pool.
Oh. Who's who?
So that's Alex there. He's the one lounging back. Although it's kind of deceptive because he's actually the one who has tons of energy. He's jumping up and down all over the place all the time. So you can see he's just.
Wait, are they identical?
They're not. They're fraternal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not
Jack was born 7 minutes before Alex, and
which might become an issue later.
Which
might come up often.
Right, I'm older than you, basically. That's the whole thing, older brother thing. But
are adorable.
They're adorable.
Thank you for showing us that. Every time I see you, I'm going to ask you for a fresh video.
You
or
got
photo.
it. Anytime.
So you're not going to dress them the same? Have you thought about that? Is that going to?
I don't know. Maybe later.
We'll see. We'll get to all that.
I'm going to ask Greg Barnes to create an Aladdin and maybe a Rasul, and then I can have him like.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like mini baby costume.
Get on that, Greg Barnes.
I know, Greg Barnes.
Get those extra sequins out.
Please, Greg.
So what was it when you found out you were having twins? Was it like, whoa?
A little bit like whoa.
Like, does that mean like, do you have room for twins? Or do you have to like
we
rethink
got a place
everything?
when we got our place in '08. We're in Sunnyside, Queens, and we picked there over like in the Heights because we were able to afford a 3-bedroom, 2 full bath place in Queens as opposed to a 1-bedroom for the same amount of money. And it was a place we knew we could sort of grow into, and we didn't know that we'd be growing into this quickly in this way. But luckily we have the space, and it's kind of split level. We got a little patio right off the kitchen that we use all the time. So it's been great.
Yeah, I've seen your little AstroTurf patio. The photos
just
on
put
Instagram.
A little bit of AstroTurf.
A little slice of heaven.
That's all you need. We just stuff it with flowers, and that's it.
And snowman. You built a snowman out there.
We did build a snowman one day.
Yeah, I follow you.
That's right. How did you know that?
Public. It's all public photos.
You're right.
Public photos. So how do you know what to do when you're suddenly a father? Is there like an app for that? Like, who's teaching you what to do?
I mean, you kind of just have to go by your instincts. Luckily, Kelly has great ones. Mine are somewhat questionable, but she's been sort of guiding me into what needs to be done, like, trying to put the bottles together. Not sure how that all works. And, and it's just sort of you live and learn. You make mistakes and you just kind of keep going. And I like to say we've kept them alive today, so we're good.
Great job.
They're alive, we're good.
They seem very healthy and adorable. So, oh my God, you're Aladdin. That's crazy.
I know.
And it's hilarious because you're Aladdin. I mean, like when I know you were already in The Lion King, so you had a relationship with Disney.
Yep.
When Aladdin came around, but it clearly must have been like, guys, like you're making Aladdin, like hello, like you look like Aladdin.
Well, I think that's sort of what happened because I was playing Simba in The Lion King in Chicago, and Tom Schumacher and Ann Court, producers, came out and they're like, wait a minute, this guy looks like he'd be kind of good for this. So they flew me in for the week for the reading, and that's how it all started. That was back in 2010.
Wow.
And I at the time had no idea they were doing Aladdin. It wasn't even on my radar. But when I found out, I was of course ecstatic and thrilled, and I thought, oh, of course, I would. This is going to be right up my alley, and the timing just worked out, and it was great. And I've loved that film forever. So.
Well, but as an actor coming up, obviously fans, Disney started turning all these movies into musicals,
right?
And fans are always like, Aladdin, like, well, come on, you gotta do Aladdin, you gotta figure it out.
They've been waiting for this.
So what I'm wondering is, when did you first hear someone say like, dude, you gotta play Aladdin someday? I mean, you must have heard this before.
I mean, honestly, I hadn't heard that before Aladdin was being planned for Broadway. I didn't even know that nobody said like you should be playing Aladdin whenever they bring it. Nobody told me that.
Right.
So it's just fortuitous that it worked
You
out.
are so good in the show.
Thank you.
I love your performance. And not only do you sing beautifully and totally pull off the energy of this character. I mean, this guy's like you totally pull him off from the minute you burst on stage. But I also, I love how you sort of nod to the animated Aladdin a lot. Like you have sort of like these rubbery face moments that I love. I mean, you do some great.
I do some great mugging in the show.
You do some great
but it's called for.
Yeah, when it's called for. And no, it's actually like beautifully done because it fits in without being, because it could have been really annoying.
Right.
But you actually just do little nods that I love. So did you like, so talk about like developing that. Did you like sort of like, it's obviously very intentional. That's something that you came up with like Casey Nicola, the
Well, I
director,
mean, it was sort of within the tone of the show, right? I mean, James, I sort of just was watching James and James Iglehart, Tony winner. Between the two of them and me, and we sort of just started feeling out what the tone of the show would be, and where were those moments where we could sort of break the fourth wall and bring the audience in to make the characters really likable, right? And with James, it's really easy because he has so much freedom to say all these fantastic, crazy things, whereas mine is a little bit more subtle.
Right.
You know, and there's little asides to the audience, those jokes like, you know, I thought the chosen people were 100 miles to the west, you know, stuff like that, which is new stuff for Broadway that wasn't in Toronto or Seattle. And, you know, we found moments where we could connect. My character could connect more and sort of make him more likable and get the people on his side.
It's working beautifully.
Yeah.
And
I continue to find moments actually as the show progresses. It's really interesting how, and depending on different audiences, because they could be different sometimes. And you know, a lot of times, like I'll kiss after Whole New World, the kiss on the carpet. You'll hear this like woo, you know. At which point I might turn out to the audience and give a little nod and then go back into the scene, you know. And they love it. They eat it up, you know. It's just funny. It's just really funny.
You and Courtney Reed are also a lot of fun together, especially off stage too. I mean, like, what is it? Sort of like a brother sister kind of like? What's your relationship like with her?
We have a special
you seem to, like,
relationship.
Tease each other.
Yes. It's everything's a competition. It is kind of brother sister. But. You know, she's like, how many followers? Or, you know, she's like,
when I was backstage with her, I gave her Broadway.com Choice Award trophy. She wanted to rub it in your face. She said, "Oh, we have to go show Adam." Yeah, she has to just like, it's constant one-upping.
It's constant one-upping, you know. But we have a great amount of trust, a great amount of trust, and it just helps to be able to, you know, try things on stage and feel free to experiment with moments and. She's great. We've had such a great, fun time working on the show. And we actually stepped away from Aladdin to do Once on this Island at Paper Mill, like in between. Which
I love.
Which was so random that we both got cast in that. But we had a great time doing that.
That was a great production, by the way.
I know. I thought for sure they were going to bring it, but oh well.
If I had the money, I would have brought it to Broadway. That was a beautiful production. But then you couldn't have been Aladdin. It might have conflicted. Maybe not. Maybe. But anyway, that was great.
Thank you.
So your energy level in the show. So, you know, I think about this Broadway performers sometimes. Like, I have the ability to show up for work every day, but you actually have to like be on and then you have
As
these
I
kids.
sip my coffee.
Yeah, take a sip of your caffeine. And then these kids are keeping you up. These little babies. Thank God they're not anymore.
Yes.
But like, are there ever days where you're just like, I got to turn it on. I'm Aladdin. Like, turn it on.
There are days where, you know, the energy's a little low and I have to maybe get to the theater a few minutes earlier, maybe get an extra shot in the coffee.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Or, you know, sure, of course. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. But luckily the show, you know, in terms of just staying in shape for it, my cardio is in the show.
Right.
I don't really have to like go to the gym that often to work on that. I just do a little bit of toning here and there with, you know, weights in my dressing room or whatnot. But you know, it's a high energy show, and you know, I don't know how I've been getting the energy to do it. I think it's because my wife has been able to let me sleep, honestly.
Yeah.
And having a split level helps, you know, because when they were upstairs and I was downstairs, I couldn't hear them at all.
Okay.
So you know, little things here and there.
Right. The duplex helps.
The duplex helps for sure, for sure. Yeah.
Now everyone talks about how you keep doing shirtless roles. I mean, this is like your thing, and I have to admit, I have to apologize. I looked back on every Broadway.com interview I've ever done with you. That is one of the questions.
Of course.
So you are used to, every interview, people saying like, "We've seen your nipples."
Yes.
Basically, that's basically the talking point.
Yes.
I'm not going to go there because it's too
See?
easy.
See
but I
that?
am going to ask you one
Yeah,
thing.
look at that.
So I read that when you got cast as Sky in Mamma Mia on the road, right?
Yep.
And that was after you did Les Mis.
Correct.
You were in Les Mis, and then you went and did Mamma Mia on the road. And you said somewhere that because you knew you were going to be Sky, and he has like all these crazy shirtless scenes.
Yeah.
And he's like on a Greek island.
Yes.
Maybe he's a Greek god, kind of, for Sophie, maybe.
Something like that.
And so you said you like put on like 20 pounds of muscle.
I worked out crazy.
So I
at
just
that
want to know
point,
how. Let's say some guy just got cast as Sky, and he has
Yeah.
to, or maybe he's the next Aladdin.
Sure.
Like maybe the next Aladdin,
Sure.
and like he has to put on 20. What do you do? Like what'd you do?
I ate lots of protein, and I
Didn't drink.
and I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I stayed off the alcohol.
Okay.
I just try to be. It's hard on the road, though. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because you're like right.
And because I was still working out while I was, doing the show, and it wasn't all at once that I suddenly had 20 pounds of muscle.
Okay,
Like, it took
like over a week. You
yeah,
get
that's
jacked.
like bam, all of a sudden. No, it took time. It took probably a good 4 or 5 months. And I did the role for a year.
Right.
So by the end, I was like where I wanted to be, really. But yeah, so I just ate a lot of protein, worked out, did a lot of exercises at the gym.
Is your goal to one day do a role where you just wear like turtleneck sweaters?
It's going to happen eventually. I mean, I'm not going to be fit like this for the next 50 years, but
Right.
And I would not shy away from that. I would probably embrace a role where I would love to do a straight play. I would love to see challenge myself in that way, try something different. Yeah, I'm all for that.
I just watched a video on YouTube of you singing "Finishing the Hat."
Oh yeah.
And it made me go like, wow, look at all the things this guy could do.
Yeah, that was fun. I loved singing Sondheim. He's got it up
Yeah.
there.
Okay, so let's rewind to little Adam
Yes.
growing up outside of San Francisco, right?
Right.
And your sister is actually Ariel Jacobs, who I saw as Nina in The Heights.
Yeah,
she
she
was
closed-
Nina towards the end of the run.
She closed it on
and
Broadway.
she was amazing, and I didn't know she was your sister.
I know. It's funny. A lot of people, they find that out now, especially. I see it on the Twitter feed. They're like, oh my God, they're putting two and two together.
Right.
How, it's just funny that.
Well, you don't walk around. You're not like the Keenan Bolgers. We don't see you together everywhere,
Yeah,
Or
I
the
know.
Fosters.
That's true. But I guess we're on our way.
But you're both clearly very talented. So, were you like these two little annoying performing kids? I mean,
Not at all. I probably am not the typical show person.
Okay.
I
I know
mean,
you were a soccer player.
I was.
And you played piano.
Correct. So
You still play piano. I saw you
I
play
still
piano
do.
at the Aladdin event, at the press event.
Yeah,
You
that's
sat down
true.
and played piano.
That's true. They sort of dared me to do that. Crazy people. Yeah, no, I played soccer. I was a sports guy. I did everything. I played
You look
baseball.
like a soccer player. You
Well,
just
there
look
you
like
go.
a soccer player. I
Yeah.
don't know what that means. But you do.
Like Matt Morrison, he's a soccer player. Like the
Yes.
two of us, we're both Cali
Yeah.
boys, soccer players. We hung out we were in college together, so we hung out all the
Yeah,
time.
you went to NYU together.
Yeah, so
What does the tribe mean?
Oh, the tribe was the name of our class. Was our
your
our
NYU
teacher.
class?
Yeah, our teacher
Okay.
sort of came up with that phrase, and that
Okay,
was that
'cause
was
you
our,
hashtagged your photo. Matt Morrison came to see Aladdin. You
Yes.
hashtagged the tribe, and I was
You're
like,
right.
is that like a secret cult?
kinda.
Oh.
It is.
Maybe it is.
Illuminati tribe. Yes.
Okay, so you're this little soccer player.
Yeah.
But you started performing, like you were.
Yeah, I started with piano
Right.
recitals and whatnot, and then my sister was doing this group called Razzle Dazzle Kids all over the city.
Razzle Dazzle Kids.
Razzle Dazzle Kids.
Wow.
Maybe I'll be able to find a photo for you guys.
Please do. Is that like Abby's? Is that like an Abby Lee Miller kind of thing, like a dance mom?
Pretty much,
Like
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
A lot
It
of
was
sequins and
it
jazz
was
hands.
it was a lot of jackets. Anyways,
What's the age difference between you and Ariel?
4 years.
Okay.
She's 4 years younger. And she started doing that, and at the time I was still playing soccer, and she was like, you want to come join the group? And I was like, I don't know, maybe. And then, of course, there were some cute girls in there, and I was like, all right, I'll come check it out. And that sort of got started into performing and singing
Okay.
in front of people, and voice lessons was there, really starting there.
Okay.
Because her teacher was the same, I took her from her voice teacher. And then,
But you were Oliver
and then I was Oliver.
in 7th grade.
Yes.
And in 8th grade,
Curly.
Curly in Oklahoma,
Oklahoma.
which you have great hair for that.
Oh, thank you.
Did you
It's
have
curly hair.
curly mop of hair when you were curly?
No, I don't think it was actually curly at that time. Crazy. I know that
You
would
could
have
play
been.
curly
That would
now.
have been. Yeah, I should play curly.
You also played. I was reading all your. I love childhood roles. I just love picturing people as little munchkins playing these roles.
I know, it's funny.
You played one of my like favorite roles that
Yeah.
you could still do, Billy Bigelow.
Yes.
Were you a good bit?
That was
He's
in high
kind
school.
of a badass. Billy Bigelow's like a badass.
I love that role. I
Yeah,
would
that's
love
a
to play
good
that
one.
again. Yeah, I did Che and Evita, which was a huge undertaking for my high school. I don't know how they did it, but we did it.
Then you did this like really probably emotionally like rich thing of like, you played young Harvey Milk.
Yeah. That was with the San Francisco Opera, and they saw me in Evita, and they said, come and audition for it. And I was like, okay. And it was my first like professional gig, and with these opera stars, and it was a completely different world from the high school theater department, and it was a professional production. It was huge sets, a huge orchestra, and that was really transformative for me. I was I was like determined at that point. I was like, this is what I want to do.
You must have also been just sort of overwhelmed by like the story of Harvey Milk and the history of
because
it. And I know
at that time I didn't really know.
Right.
But then as I started to research the role and
right. But didn't they even like recreate like it was on the anniversary?
that's true. They did a performance on the anniversary of his assassination.
Right.
And we reenacted the Candlelight March down Market Street.
Wow.
And then we went into the theater and we performed the show. And it was incredible just to see the power of how the theater was affecting people.
Yeah.
Especially something like that in San Francisco, where everybody was, who had lived through it they know and they were feeling it. So I was deeply moved by that.
Yeah, it seems like a heavy experience. Not
Sure.
the experience that every like high school kid who maybe wants to be on Broadway goes through.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
well,
Like,
when you're in high school, it's just this you're encapsulated, right? And you're not really exposed to what it really can do until you do until you do production like that, and you could see the effect it has. So it was pretty cool.
So you went off to NYU.
So I ran off to NYU.
Joined the tribe.
Joined the tribe.
With Maddie Morrison.
That's right. Yeah.
So you get to New York. Did you go crazy?
Yeah.
Did you like?
I went and tried to see every show I could within
Okay.
my budget, within my peanut butter
Like
sandwich
what?
ramen
Like
budget.
like a few things that maybe like really.
Beauty and the Beast, I saw all those things.
You don't have to give a Disney answer.
Oh, right.
Beauty and the Beast. Okay. Any non-Disney show?
Yeah. I saw Chicago. I saw Phantom, obviously.
But were you a good kid? Did you like when you were suddenly off on your own? Did you like, or was it like, oh my God, I'm on my own now in New York?
No, I think I was probably still, I'm gonna do good in school. I'm gonna do my stuff I'm supposed to do. I wish I'd been a little bit more proactive in terms of using the resources that were available at NYU.
Okay.
Looking back now, there were so many great teachers and people that I wish I'd just sort of gotten to connect with more and learn from. But in the end, it still was a great, education, a great experience, and I got to work with Alex Corey. She was my favorite teacher.
Alex Corey.
At Cap 21.
I love Alex Corey.
She was my favorite vocal performance teacher.
Okay.
So a lot of great people that I was learning from, and seeing them teach me and then perform in shows that evening. It's like you can't beat that, really. Any other musical theater program doesn't have that. So it was really special.
You seem pretty ambitious and focused to me now. I don't know. You seem like when I look at your career, I'm like, wow, look at this guy. Like you.
I don't know. I sort of see myself as like the tortoise in the hare. Like I've just been slowly. I'm the tortoise. I've been here, and I've been sort of. I feel like I've paid my dues. I did theme parks, cruise ships, and I'm.
I want to talk about the cruise ships.
Oh, you want to talk about cruise ships?
I love cruise ships. I love talking about cruise ships.
Man, I don't know.
You tell me the low point on the cruise ship.
Oh man, it's just
What were
like
you
you're
doing on
sitting
the cruise
ship? We were doing a cheesy Broadway show that I can't even remember. It was like we did a British pop section, I remember. It was, and we're singing Georgie Boy or whatever it is, and the boats rock.
Boy.
We're singing all kinds of crazy stuff.
That doesn't sound good.
And and
Yeah, because the stage.
you
literally this is happening while you're performing. It's
and
like a
people
constant.
are eating, and you hear the silverware, and you hear, and they're getting up to go to the buffet bar, like
The
right in front of
desserts.
you.
Well, they have like a million desserts for
Right
them.
in front of you, and they're maybe stopping, like the spotlight's on you, and there's like this heavy set person in front of you, like looking, where do I go with like a huge plate of food, and you're trying to like sing around them to the people over there. I mean,
I'm singing here.
I'm singing it. It's my spotlight. Come on. Yeah, it's.
And where did your cruise ship go to?
Well, that was supposed to go all the way through the Mediterranean.
Oh, well, that's nice.
But I was actually only on there for a couple months because September 11th happened.
Oh, wow.
And the whole company went bankrupt. All the ships, 8 ships, went under. They didn't sink, but they. The
So
company.
you were on the boat when 9/11 happened?
Yes, I
Oh my
was,
God,
which was kind of crazy.
That's weird.
But because of that, I met my wife because I had to get off that ship, and I did a Christmas show and met my wife. So
Yeah, and you were dressed like Santa Claus.
yes,
So tell me about this show. Tell me about
that
this.
show.
And I want. Is there photographic evidence of you as Santa Claus?
Of course there is.
With a white beard and black eyebrows.
I don't think you're ever going to see it, but yes,
Really?
there is.
Damn. why can't that be one of your Throwback Thursdays?
Yeah,
Come on, give us some Santa Claus.
I might have to dig.
Do it
All
for
right,
Christmas.
Maybe,
Do it for
I will.
Christmas.
Maybe I will. It was Christmas in Chocolate Town in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and
Wow.
Yes, Christmas in
Wow.
Chocolate
What
Town.
was the budget on that show? You got paid. You got paid a lot for that one, right?
Chocolate. Got paid chocolate. A lot of chocolate.
So you meet her.
Yes, we met.
Had you dated a lot before that?
Yeah, I mean, I was probably more of a long-term relationship type of guy.
Okay.
I had a few long-term relationships. and,
Okay.
but yeah, when we met, we knew we were thinking it was just going to be a fling because she was leaving to go to Tokyo Disney right after that for 7 months.
Wow.
And we're like, well, this isn't going to, we're just going to have fun and whatever. But of course, by the end of the run, we're like, oh, there's actually something here. So I flew out to Tokyo.
How did you
twice.
ask her out? Did you have to ask her out, or were you just like hanging out? And I want to hear these showman stories.
Oh, the showman's is great, especially in a place like that because, at the Hershey Lodge, they have this huge hearth with like this fireplace, right? And it's like, columns and stone. And you're sitting there and it's beautiful, it's romantic, and you get free hot chocolate. And we're there sitting there till 3 a.m, learning and talking to each other and just falling in love, essentially. So that's where the romance blossomed and it
Nice.
bloomed. And
You just had your 8th wedding anniversary.
we did, yeah.
What'd you do?
We we didn't do much for this one actually. I think we just did a little dinner date.
Okay.
We gave the boys to mom and dad.
Okay.
And we just went and had dinner. So
Are you naturally like a romantic person with her?
sometimes, like when I was on the road, she was touring with Mary Poppins and I was touring with Mamma Mia, and I set up this extravagant scavenger hunt for her because she was the next show coming in.
Oh, nice.
So I had the whole theater set up with clues, and I made sure I spoke with the house managers so that nobody touched anything. But I had her going from the orchestra pit all the way up to the light booth and like all around and trying to find clues and stuff. Like I had fun making that. So I have streaks where I can be semi-romantic.
Wow. So like, did you find like really good hiding places? Like, is there anything like was there anything she couldn't figure out? Is there some stuff still there, maybe,
yeah,
in
right.
some of these spots?
No, I made sure that she could still solve them,
Okay.
but they were tough. Some of them were. I burned the edges to make of this paper to make it look like an old treasure map, and put up like these clues where you had to sort of like it's like an old like a Cracker Jack ring type of thing, that sort of thing where you have to like an anagram or whatever and. Questions that only she would answer and riddles and rhymes and stuff, and I just had fun making it.
Nice.
I'm hoping I could do that sort of stuff with my boys eventually. Yeah, I'm sure we will.
So I wonder if your boys are they're not going to get to see you do Aladdin by the time
I know. I don't want to be a 50-year-old Aladdin.
Well,
and they
I
can
don't
come
know.
see.
Not a bad gig.
I don't know.
Well, okay, so what do you see 50-year-old Adam Jacob, like let's come up with the dream scenario.
Dream scenario would be, probably series regular next,
Okay.
possibly after this. Try to do a TV gig, only because I haven't done it and I just want to try it and see how that goes. Like to do an album or two. Like to do some concerts. I love singing with huge orchestras and symphonies. I love doing that.
Nice.
Because music is sort of like my first love, and so I would love to do that. And who knows? I know Kelly would love to move. She would love to be closer to her family, but
Her family's where?
Her family's in the Midwest.
Okay.
They're in Wisconsin, but I don't know if we can live in Wisconsin.
That's tough.
It'd be tough, but maybe Chicago, who knows? So that's, I don't know if I'll be here forever. That's the thing. But
What?
I know. New York is the end all be all, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is
I
it,
mean, once
though?
you become a
Is
Broadway
it?
star, I mean.
I know.
Did you ever like? So I know you were in Les Mis, Marius, and then did you ever like when you get your first Broadway show? Do you ever think like, oh my God, I'm not gonna have another one? You know, what I mean, when Les Mis closed, do you have that inside you like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go to the next thing? Or I know
Yeah,
you
of
had to go
course.
on the road, and a lot of
Yeah.
actors get like a little cocky.
After Les Mis, no, I didn't work for a good almost a year.
Right.
Like, and I thought, and I was really sort of, I was questioning things because with my agent and everything, I was like, what's going on? I thought it would be easier.
Yeah.
You know? But no, I was.
And you had to go on the road.
I had to go on the road.
That's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
You have to take the opportunities.
Exactly.
And you had to do Mamma Mia on the road.
Mamma Mia on the road.
And gain the 20 pounds of muscle.
Right.
You had to gain the 20 pounds of muscle.
And shed the pounds and then gain the pounds.
Egg whites and chicken led you to this.
That's right. And now here I am on Show People.
You know, when I was reading your bio, you said that the show that influenced you when you were a kid was The King and I. Your parents said they took you to The King
That's
and I.
true, yes.
And I thought, you'd be a great king someday.
Someday, I
that
would
could
love
be
to
your
do that.
50-year-old role.
That would be great.
Like the next time it comes around. I know it's coming around this year, but next
right?
time.
Yeah.
Next time you could do The King.
Yeah, it's all timing with these roles, right? You never know.
2034.
Okay.
Put that in your calendar.
You got it. It's in.
Is there anything else you want to tell the people?
Just that I love Show People. I've been watching some of your
thank you.
interviews, and I think you're great.
Thank you. I like that.
Yeah.
And that's a compliment for me. Why not?
Yeah, man.
Enough about you.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm so happy to be where I am. You know, to have the kids and this role right now. It's like I can't imagine anything topping this.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping that there will be.
Of course there will be.
Hoping it will be.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
All right.